you doing?
This is officially my third video about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And yes, I fully understand how incredibly hilariously unfair it is for me to make a Game of the Year argument when I have not played the other nominees at all. Have I touched them? No. Have I watched a full playthrough? No. Do I even know what most of them are? Also, no. But do I have a strong, passionate, and completely unqualified opinion? Absolutely. And that's what the internet is built on. So today I'm going to explain in a totally unbiased, completely objective, definitely not delusional way why Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 should win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It's not just an amazing sequel, it's a ridiculous achievement. So let's start with the most important part, the story. The first Kingdom Come had a good story. The sequel doesn't just continue it, it evolves in a way that feels genuinely rare for modern games. Henry isn't suddenly transformed into some overpowered fantasy hero, and the world doesn't magically bend around him. Instead, he still feels grounded, still shaped by everything he's been through, and still painfully human. That continuity is one of the most impressive things about the narrative, because it understands that the real growth is slow, uncomfortable, and complicated. And that trauma doesn't just disappear because the plot demands it. There's a weight to everything that happened in the first game, and instead of ignoring that, the sequel leans into it.
Oi, Ragdig, let's say. Nobody could be proud of you, Capon. Nobody.
You feel the history sitting on Henry's shoulders in every interaction. In the way he reacts, in the way others treat him, in the way certain names, places, and memories are never far from surface. It's subtle, but it's powerful, and it makes the character's arc feel earned instead of written for convenience. The story leans heavily into messy medieval politics, betrayals layered onto betrayals, power struggles that stretch across families, regions, and ideologies. What's brilliant is that the game doesn't hold your hand and explain everything. Like real life, you're often thrown into situations where you don't have the full picture, where people lie to you, manipulate you, or feed you half-truths. You are forced to figure out who can trust based not on obvious good guy or bad guy signals, but on intuition, experience, and consequence. There's something incredibly bold about telling a story that doesn't make you feel special all the time. You're not the chosen one, you're not destined to save the realm. Half the time, you're just trying to survive the plans of people who are smarter, richer, and more powerful than you. And somehow that makes victories feel 10 times more significant. When you actually succeed at something in this world, it feels like you weren't supposed to, and that makes it satisfying on a level that most games never reach. What really sets this story apart is the pacing. Modern games are terrified of silence, slow moments. They think that you might get bored. But Kingdom Come 2 doesn't care. It lets scenes stretch. It lets conversations breathe. It lets awkward moments sit in the air. You start noticing the pauses, the eye movements, the body language. You feel the tension in the room because the game isn't trying to distract you with explosions every 10 seconds. It trusts you to pay attention. Because of that, you do. That kind of confidence in storytelling is rare, and that alone makes it deserving of something as big as Game of the Year. That grounded storytelling would not work if the gameplay didn't support it, but this is where Kingdom Come 2 really shows its ambition. The game refuses to turn you into a superhero, even when it technically could. You don't just unlock abilities and suddenly dominate everyone around you. You struggle, you miss, you make mistakes, and you get humiliated. Sometimes a simple encounter will go so badly that you are forced to rethink your entire approach to the world. Combat in particular still hands as one of the most daring systems in any RPG. It's slow, deliberate, and demanding. Every movement costs stamina, every mistake is punished, and every enemy is a potential threat. You can't just roll around and press one button and expect to win. You have to think, analyze, observe patterns, and react with intention. It feels less like playing an action game and more like learning an actual physical skill over time. And that feeling of improvement doesn't come from leveling up once or twice, it comes from repetition and muscle memory. At first, fights are terrifying and chaotic. Later on, without you even noticing it, how it happened, you start moving more confidently, choosing better angles, managing distance better, and the game never announces it, but you slowly realize you've actually gotten better. Not Henry, you. And outside of combat, the immersion only deepens. This is a world where your choices exist on a physical, emotional, and social level. If you walk into a wealthy area dressed like a peasant covered in mud, people react accordingly. If you stroll into a tavern in a full armor, smelling like sweat and blood, you get a complete different reaction. Your appearance, your cleanness, your reputation, even your body language all influence how the world perceives you. This makes even simple decisions feel meaningful. Do you take time to wash? Do you change your clothing before speaking to someone important? Do you sleep enough, eat properly, take care of your wounds? These aren't annoying mechanics, they are an extension of the roleplay. You're not just controlling a character, you're maintaining a human being in a harsh historical reality. Progression in this game hits differently because it feels like a real-life progression. You start useless, confused, and overwhelmed. Then slowly, through experience, mistakes, and learning, you become competent. There's no instant power fantasy, just growth that feels real. That alone puts this game in a completely different category compared to most modern releases. Then there's the visual experience, which somehow manages to be both brutally realistic and quietly beautiful. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 doesn't rely on flashy, oversaturated colors or exaggerated design. It focuses on authenticity. Dirt is real dirt. Wood looks weathered, and stone looks aged. Everything feels like it has existed long before you arrived. The landscapes in particular are something special. Forests feel fake and slightly suffocating in the best way. You get lost on them not because the map is confusing, but because it actually feels like being in a real forest where everything looks similar and every turn feels uncertain. Fields stretch out naturally, villagers feel placed accordingly to real-life logic, shaped by geography and history rather than by level design checkboxes. Lighting plays a massive role in immersion too. The soft glow of the sun in the morning, the heavy shadows at dusk, the oppressive darkness at night, broken only by moonlight and torches. Fire flickers on metal stone in a way that feels almost cinematic. It doesn't just look good, it feels alive, and it constantly reinforces the tone of whatever is happening in the story at that moment. Character models and animations are equally impressive. Faces show subtle emotion, and you can see hesitation, mistrust, resentment, and compassion without a single word being spoken. That level of expressiveness turns simple conversations into moments of genuine connection or tension, and that emotional realism strengthens the entire experience. It's the kind of visual work that doesn't just impress you technically, it pulls you deeper into a world emotionally. At some point, you stop noticing individual features and start realizing that the entire game is built on an unbelievable amount of detail. It's present in the way characters move through their daily lives, the way towns wake up, function, and slowly shut down as night falls, the way nature responds to time, weather, and chaos. You start recognizing that nothing exists just for decoration. Everything has a purpose, even if you never directly interact with it. There are systems running in the background that make the world feel consistent, logical, and reactive. It feels like the world doesn't just exist for you, but in spite of you. What really stands out is historical care. This is clearly not a fantasy interpretation of medieval era created for convenience. It's based on real research, real architecture, real traditions, and real beliefs. You can sense that the developers didn't just want to make a fun video game. They wanted to honor an era, to preserve it digitally, to let you step into it as authentically as possible. That level of respect is rare in gaming, and it shows in every corner of the map. Now, the same philosophy carries over into the side quests, which feels less like optional content and more like additional layers of life happening around the main story. You find yourself getting pulled into the struggles that have nothing to do with saving kingdoms or changing the course of history. And somehow those smaller, more personal stories hit just as hard, if not harder. You meet people who are just trying to make it through another day, and their problems aren't glamorous or heroic. They are messy, sad, complicated, and sometimes unfair. They are forced to make decisions that don't always have a clean, satisfying outcome, and that ambiguity makes everything feel more real. Side stories unfold at their own pace, often with a dramatic fanfare. They begin naturally through conversation or challenge encounters and end quietly, sometimes without a clear victory. And that's what makes them powerful. They feel like real events in a world instead of content designed to keep you busy. In many ways, this side content is what solidifies this game as something truly special. It's not gaming to impress through scale alone, it's gaming to move you through authenticity. Even when you stop doing missions and just travel, the world continues to tell its own story. Burned buildings stand as silent witness of past violence. Abandoned homes, such as loss, migration, or death. Fields grown wild show the slow passing of time in places that once had life and purpose. You piece together history not through dialogue boxes, but through what's missing, what's broken, and what's been forgotten. The land itself becomes a storyteller, and as you explore more of it, deeper understanding of the world forms in your mind. There is a kind of emotional weight that comes from simply walking through this environment. You don't just see it, you feel it, you imagine what life must have been like for the people who lived here, fought here, and died here. That connection goes far beyond normal immersion. It's almost reflective, almost haunting, and it sticks with you long after you stop playing. That's not something most video games can achieve. Now, Game of the Year is supposed to represent more than popularity or marketing power. It should be a reflection of creativity, courage, vision, and passion. It should go to the game that dares to be different, that refuses to compromise its identity, and that pushes the medium forward in a meaningful way. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does all of that. It doesn't change trends, it doesn't try to be accessible to everyone, it doesn't take safe route, it stays true to its vision. When that vision is demanding, slow, difficult, and unforgiving. And in the gaming industry that is increasingly driven by profit, formulas, microtransactions, and half-finished releases, that kind of dedication feels almost rebellious. So, yes, I haven't played the other nominees. Yes, this is my third video on this game, and yes, my bias is absolutely showing. But despite all that, I think that Tamagotchi should be Game of the Year. Thank you for watching, and see you soon, random internet brother. Hello everyone, before leaving I just wanted to say that there's now available the option to become a member of the channel. There's some benefits such as showing your name on the final screen as well as some exclusive videos on this platform, on being able to watch it before everyone else, and playing some video games with me if you want, or private chat, stuff like that. Obviously the content is totally free. If you don't want to pay, that's okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon, random internet brother.